So there are a variety of code bills that passed the Senate today. Probably most significant is the tax code bill that talks about many aspects of how we're going to fund the budget that we passed back on June 30th. Pleased to report that there's a significant Marcellus Shale tax component, something that Senate Democrats have been trying to advance for a number of years. So we're pleased that we really got our foot in the door in terms of making sure that happens. But beyond that, in terms of other resources that will make their way to Pennsylvanians, we put into place a LIHEAP program for $20 million that comes from the portion of the reenactment of the natural gas gross receipts tax. So folks will be experiencing a little bit of an increase there, but we're able to take $20 million, first time we'll ever have in Pennsylvania, a dedicated fund for the LIHEAP program, which really helps low-income folks manage their heating and utilities along those lines. So those are some of the positive aspects of it. Beyond that, there's a number of other measures in the various other code bills that we're proud of. First, starting on the school code, there's a language that really addresses a major component in the Philadelphia area called AVI that will generate for that Philadelphia County and school district some $240 million over the course of a number of years. Really important to that community to be able to address that. Other measures that included, for example, Senator Fontana's legislation dealing with private laterals to make sure that your authorities are able to address lead-lined sewer and water lines along those lines to make sure that they'll be able to replace them, working through local authorities, eliminating that barrier that's been in place for a number of years. So Senator Fontana worked hard on that. Lunch shaming is something that's part of the school code bill that we're very pleased with. Opioid education is something that we pushed very hard in our caucus. That's part of the conversation now, and allowing our school districts to develop programs to, in conjunction with the Department of Drug and Alcohol and Human Services and others, to develop a sort of a curriculum around the whole issue of opioid and heroin addiction. First Chance Trust Fund is something I work closely with Senator Hughes as well as Senator Alloway and Secretary Wetzel for the Department of Corrections. Essentially what it does is provide a revenue stream to allow us to provide scholarships and support for those young students and children who are children of incarcerated individuals. Through no fault of their own, oftentimes these young men and women find themselves in a position where they're not able to enjoy maybe some of the things that other families are able to enjoy through various programs. This provides for a contract with the entities who provide services to the Department of Corrections, asking them to make a contribution into the scholarship fund essentially for that particular purpose. So it's something that's going to give kids a chance to succeed and try to break a cycle that's been harmful to not only the parents, of course, but also indirectly impacts the children.